God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Now I would like each of you to join me in a moment of silence. One of my favorite singers, as we lay her to rest, Miss Whitney Houston. Thank you. Today, I want to talk about what is the first step to break the cycle of addiction. One of my close friends asked me to speak on this today. So, Gail, this is for you. For me, the first step for me to break the cycle of my addiction was to embrace the first step in the 12-step program, which is we admitted we're powerless over alcohol and drugs, that our lives have become unmanageable. That's a very powerful and very hard statement for many people to get past. That's why a lot of people don't make it in sobriety, because they can't get past that first step. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol and drugs, that our lives had become unmanageable. As human beings, we don't like to admit defeat in anything. We don't like to admit that we are powerless over our entire lives. But to start the cycle of recovery, to break the addiction from your life, you have to admit you're powerless, that you have no control over your actions when it comes to drugs and alcohol. We aren't like the normal people in the world who can have a beer or margarita and walk away. When you have the allergy, when you are allergic to alcohol and drugs, we don't know when to stop. 1 is not enough. 6 is not enough. 12 is not enough. We have that addictive personality. We are fighting our own battles within us. Some of us use drugs because of our past. Some of us use drugs because of our environment. Some of us use all these excuses, but that's all they are excuses. For me, I had many excuses. You know, my dad died when I was 2. My grandfather died several months later. I grew up with no men in my life. You know, I used that as an excuse. When I was a child, I was very, very active in church. But when I got to be about 15 or 16 years old, I turned my back on the church. Why? Because I was angry at God for the life He had given me, when deep down I knew He put me on this earth for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. My mother and my grandmother and my aunt, they did the best job they could raising me. It's not their fault I became addicted to alcohol and drugs. It's my fault. So to break the cycle of addiction, you have to look within. You have to know when enough is enough. You have to do it for you. You cannot get into recovery for your wife or your children or your family, or because your job says if you don't do this, you're going to lose your job. You have to get into recovery for you to make the positive changes. We're all just a creature of habit. If it becomes habit for you to drink beer every night, that's what you do. If it becomes habit for you to smoke marijuana every day, that's what you do. You have to create positive habits in your life. You have to change everything, but only you can do it. You have to read that first step, and you have to take it to your heart, and you have to burn it in your soul, in your brain. You have to admit you are powerless over alcohol and drugs, that your life has become unmanageable. You have to, or it's not going to work. You have to want sobriety more than anything in your life. If you work the steps, if you take your time and work each step thoroughly, soul searching, dig deep, clean your heart out, get rid of all those secrets, all that pain, all that suffering, all that guilt. Sobriety will be something you can achieve. You don't worry about what happened yesterday. Yesterday's dead. It's gone. It's history. You can't go back into it. You can't change it. There's no time machines. Don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about today. Live your life for this 24-hour period, for this moment. When I first started, I took it minute by minute, hour by hour. That's what you have to do, because it's going to be painful. It's going to be suffering. But pain brings happiness. Happiness brings joy. Joy brings love. Love will bring sobriety and serenity into your life. So you take that first step. Take that first step and you read it. We admitted. We. That means you have help. You have AA memberships. You have fellowships. You have NA. You have sponsors. You have friends. You have counselors. You have people who will be there. That's why it says we admitted we were powerless over alcohol and drugs, that our lives had become unmanageable. You aren't in this alone. There is help. Seek it. Peace and love to you all. And God bless you, Miss Whitney Houston. I love you.